This online broadcast of the 2026 49th Parallel Cup is brought to you by Payable Apps. Payable Apps makes accepting payments fast, simple, and secure. Cooper Equipment Rentals. Safe, reliable, on time. It's the Cooper difference. Tribal Sport. Smith & Sons General Contractors. Big White Ski Resort. Real Deal Australian Meat Pies. The Exhale Brew Company. And by the City of Kelowna. Welcome to Kelowna, British Columbia and Rutland Recreation Park, the site of this Women's Championship match of the 2026 49th Parallel Cup. Hello, I'm David Smith, and with me today is a legend of footy broadcasting in North America, having called almost 400 games of Australian rules football, and he knows various airports around North America to get here. Brian Barish, welcome to Kelowna.
Good morning, David. Thank you so much. Yeah, I thought I was going to have to strap myself to a seagull to get here, but we made it. The weather has not, in a sense, but we're excited for a few more really good games, including this women's match coming up.
Absolutely. It is a very wet day here in Kelowna. Really the first time they've had rain in a very long time, so the timing hasn't been good from a footy standpoint, but I'm sure we'll see lots of great footy action here in this Women's Championship game of the 49th Parallel Cup. And we'll talk a little bit of history of this cup in the game view, our Cooper Equipment Rentals game view. The Northern Lights lead in terms of the number of games won in this event, 4-2. But certainly the last time these two teams played, it went the American way.
It did, and not for the want of trying for either side. It was the semifinals of the 2024 Transatlantic Cup, and the USA kicked 9 scoring shots. They had just 1 goal, but that was enough to win 14-13, and an absolute epic battle in Sam Smith Park. The U.S., of course, would go on to lose to Ireland in extra time in the grand final. A note about some of the history. These two teams have played now. We mentioned that this is the 7th time that these two teams have played in the Parallel Cup. It is the 11th time overall. The Americans have won just 3 of those contests. In the last 3 matches, the 2017 International Cup, the 2023 49th Parallel Cup, and that Transatlantic Cup, they've only scored 1 goal a game. So their job, even in these tough conditions, is going to be to try and put more pressure offensively.
But both teams will have some extra motivation with certainly Canada having a bit of a disappointing finish to the Transatlantic Cup in Toronto a couple years ago, and obviously the last time this event was played, the U.S. didn't come up on top. So both teams will be looking to change some history, as it were, but it should be a great contest. We'll go over a little bit of the rosters here today. I'll start with the Northern Lights, which a bit of the story is changed. There's double digits in terms of new players to this program, or at least on the Northern Lights senior team here today. So they'll be relying on some veterans such as Anna Brancati and Caroline Leduc and Lise Kiefer, Mabel Dunn. But the question is it a rebirth or is it rebuilding? And for the U.S.?
And for the U.S., there's a lot of, I would say it's about a half and half situation. 14 players were on that Transatlantic Cup team that is returning here to this game here. As we're just waiting a word for the anthems in just a moment, so if I break off suddenly, I apologize. But yeah, Andrew Donlan has brought back, as we say, 14 players from the Transatlantic Cup. There was a couple of others that were in there. Some of them have come in and out. So
I believe we're ready for the anthems as we about ready to start this championship match for the Women's Parallel Cup. right, the anthems are done, and we're just about ready for the. Oh, we're ready for the coin flip, actually. So, captains of the two teams. It'll be Mabel Dunn for Canada, and Allison Leonard, and I don't see the other player for the USA Freedom. As we've talked about, a very wet Kelowna, British Columbia, and that will undoubtedly affect play here today. But these are great athletes, and I'm sure they'll put on a great show here at the Rutland Recreation Park.
And just to finish the thought on the Freedom, we mentioned all those new players. There's a lot of players who are there's a few players that are making their return to the national team program. Rosemary Cuoco, who played in the 2017 International Cup, went to the Northern Territory with Nightcliff, was actually looking to make a move to VFLW before COVID hit. She's gone, and she and husband Rob had a couple of kids. She's come back into the fold, which is great to see. Amanda Mora is in there as well. A couple of new players into the program to keep an eye on. Number 3, Ryan Ludo-Stansky of the Arizona Hawks. Sarah O'Halloran, also of Arizona as well, the number 16. 15, Katie Kowal, the lone East Coast representative representing the DC Hawks, as among a bunch of newcomers. So it'll be very interesting to see how this plays out. I think, you can't really go too much on form because it's been 2 years since these two teams have played.
Absolutely. This is the only time these players will be playing for their national team this year, so they'll be motivated, and I'm sure there'll be lots of nervous energy here to start this game. And we'll see if they can work that energy into positive momentum. So we're just about ready for the ball up here, as we are about to get ready for this women's 49th Parallel Cup game. And the rain continues to pour here in Kelowna. Umpire giving it a stretch, and we're about ready for the tribal sport. Ball up, and here's Brian Barish.
Thank you very much, David Smith. Here we go. The 11th meeting between the USA Freedom and the Canada Northern Lights in all competitions. And the U.S. trying to find 2 in a row and trying to win their first Parallel Cup since 2013. And we're underway as the Freedom are in the blue jumpers. They are headed towards the Hemlock Road end. And the Canadians are in the black with the red trim. Beg your pardon, it's the other way around as the Freedom are heading from left to right towards the arena end. Ball goes to ground. Cycling in there and fighting after the football is Saliani. So is Carr. Going to get picked up by Saigula. I bet she is going to end up with probably the most touches on the U.S. side. That is her wont. As the ball is up on the far side now. Tackles Saliani. She dropped the pill, and she's going to get pinged. Is she? Yes. It is going to be a free kick. So here are the Lights with the first free kick of the game. Outer wing position. Going to look to send this one inside that 40-meter arc. Going up to get it. It's punched free. Going all the way back now. Trying to shake away. And then it's Allison Leonard, one of the co-captains, who will come out to the near side. Going after it. Getting shoved off the ball now. Staying with it is Olivia Devia there for the Freedom. The ball is locked up, and we'll have a ball up as Leo Gaillard. Check that. That's Nikita Schunzelar who is in there, and we'll have a ball up.
All right, in the pocket. Ball up in the Canadian Northern Lights scoring end. That's off the hands of Brancati. Picked up. Here's a long handball off ground. Ball, you'll probably see the ball on the ground a lot with the conditions here in Kelowna. So picked up in the forward 40 for the Northern Lights. A lot of soccer going on at the moment. Finally gets picked up by Devia. High kick off of hands there at midfield. Attempted to be picked up by Patricio and Baker. And it'll be a ball up here at midfield.
Ball up's on the far side now. We've played 2 minutes of scoreless football. This is going to be this is essentially how it's going to be for the rest of the day. and we currently are at our forecast low of 13 degrees Celsius or 57 degrees Fahrenheit. It is great footy weather, especially if you're an Australian, but it is affecting the conditions so far. Americans trying to move the ball forward and locked in a little bit of it where Carol Sequeira was almost looked like she was locked in a wrestling pose.
Not great conditions for when you pack for summer weather, for the record.
No, really not. And we'll have a free kick. So it'll go the way of the Canadians. Back right pocket, sending this one out to the near side, tracking back, almost taking it was Carr. Halifax Dockers by way of the Seattle Grizzlies, and then handed back. That was Gaillard, once again, who sends this one up, soccered off of the ground by Jacinda Schunzelar. There are two of them, and we got to keep track of them as the ball goes to ground. Good tackle put in there by Amanda Dvorak, and continued up by the Whites, going all the way back now, gets knocked free, cycling back and getting the handball off there was O'Halloran. Americans trying to get the ball up on the far side. It gets taken down, and then a big tackle put in, and the ball is, as Baker was in there on the tackle, but no prior opportunity, and we'll have a ball up on the outer side. 3.5 minutes gone, no score, women's game.
Yeah, 3.5 minutes into this first quarter, no score. You have to think that the first goal could be really big in this game to get momentum, particularly given the conditions. Free kick here for the Northern Lights. Down the line, there's a big battle there, and there's another whistle, and I believe it'll be a ball up.
Yeah, I was going to say...
it's a free kick here to the USA.
This game's going to be very tight during the game, and the Americans, I think, play more of a defensive style. And we told you, as we said, only one goal in each of the last three, and really, of all the games, they have only scored more than 2 goals 3 times. Great mark by Kaya Saigola, and we said she's going to get a fair bit of the football, I think, during the course of this game. That was the way in the we saw her in the Super Regionals a couple of weeks ago down in Minnesota, and she was amongst the ball winners as the mark is taken by the Canadians up on the far side. Once again, that's Jacinda Schunzelar who sends this one down. It's dropped by Amy Carr. Big tackle from behind. Good pressure being put on by the Americans as Nikita Schunzelar gets it knocked forward. They work it back. Again, more pressure. And again, just getting a foot to the ball. Ball goes up into the pocket now, going all the way back to kind of chase it. And then handball it back. Dropped by Mabel Dunn, one of the veterans that David alluded to in the pregame. And it will be a ball up as the Rucks nominate. With 5 minutes gone in the opening term, still no score here in rainy Kelowna.
In the pocket for the Northern Lights scoring end. Certainly the end they wanted. Let's see if they can get a kick on the goal. Off hands, picked up by Carr, tackled right away. High in the air, off of hands, not able to get the mark, but there is a free kick given there. And this will be Mabel Dunn with the ball. She should be able to get this into a dangerous place. Short kick, but there's a nice mark. And Lauren Doy. Burkhart, sorry. There's a kick. A little bit to the left of the sticks. Freedom defending hard right now. This is going to be a boundary throw in deep in the pocket in the Northern Lights scoring end. In there is Leduc. Off of hands, lots of players around the ball. This will be another stoppage. And a ball up. Again in the pocket of the Northern Lights scoring end. Off of Burkhart.
Yep, Burkhart was in there, knocking down, going up against Connor Lewis. And Kojo, who is coming off as a gridiron football coach, winning a national championship with her team, the Minnesota Vixen, a couple of weeks ago in Canton, Ohio. As the ball gets knocked, it's sent forward. There's Tracy McLean, who got sent sideways. She stays with the footy, though, and the ball is kept in. There is Carr, who's taken down. And now it's worked out to Saigola. Saigola has some room to make an option. Stabs one forward up on the far side. Ball goes to ground. Gaillard now sends this one back. Coming over to what a courageous mark by Amy Carr. Woo! She only had eyes for the footy and bounced off of her defender, but managed to hang on. Plays up on the far side now, and almost taking the mark, but dropping it in the end was Lewis. And staying with it, going over to go and help now is Sequeira, Carol Sequeira, and that one is picked up now, sent up high, tracking back, picked up again. Here is Gaillard through the middle, sending this one inside 40, off the top, chasing after it and staying with it is Hussein, and trying to poke it forward. Liz Ed comes back in defense for the Americans. It's laying there amongst the raindrops, and now everybody is wrestling for it, and umpire says, give that to me, but the Northern Lights putting the pressure on, 7.5 minutes gone, putting the pressure on. They have a chance inside 40, still no score.
That was a ball in a very dangerous area, but the Freedom do get the ball starting. Tackles right away as players are getting the ball, and this looks like a free kick given to Caroline Leduc. So this could be a chance at goal here for Leduc, one of the veterans for this Northern Lights team.
She's played just about everywhere, including in East Fremantle in Western Australia.
Also on the board, on the executive board of directors of AFL Canada, so she has made her mark off field as well. Kick won't make it and will be right off a hand, so this will be a boundary throw in deep in the pocket for the Northern Lights. Still in the area that they want, but the Freedoms certainly have been defending hard here in this passage of play.
Ball comes spinning back in the play once again. Gets knocked down, staying with it. There again is Burkhart, who's done well in the ruck so far. Comes out to the near side. Brancati is there. Ball squirts out. Lights have some room. Again, that is Leduc, who got shoved aside. Kicks across the face. One-on-one contest. Ball goes away as that was Devia up against Mabel Dunn. Dunn, oh, what a big shove right near the boundary line, and the ball went out of bounds.
It's out on the full, so this will be a free kick to the Northern Lights.
And they'll have an opportunity.
This is Pereira. No. It's being given to Mabel Dunn. So Mabel Dunn, probably too far to score here, particularly given the angle. Kick to a dangerous location, but only hands for the Freedom kick it goal, and that goes through for a behind. And our first scoring point of this game is a Northern Lights behind. Quick kick out by the Freedom. They're going down the line. Drop the ball there, but still keeps possession. Little kick to the middle. That goes to Saliani. Thank you. Giveaway there. Now picked up by the Northern Lights, and Mabel Dunn kicks it down, but there's been a stoppage of play and a free kick given to, I believe, number 2, Leo Gaillard.
Gaillard is no stranger to the U.S. Freedom. She plays, not only does she play her club footy in AFL Canada for the Burnaby Eagles, but she also plays for the Golden Gate Iron Maidens, and she's been a part of that team that has won that 7 straight national championships in the Women's Division 1 before their streak was ended by the Minnesota Freeze a couple of years ago. We'll have a ball up directly in front as this is Leduc up against this is Saigola in the ruck. Interesting seeing Kaya Saigola going up against Anna Brancati, who is the veteran, the captain of this Canadian side. And again, a ball up. 1-0 the score. 11 minutes gone. We're playing 4 20-minute quarters. Saigola, as again, never really seen her in the ruck. There's Ed, who usually does play in the ruck. They get it back, and a big kick out the back. Believe that was by McLean as the ball goes to ground. Or rather, that was by Leonard, because there's Tracy McLean. A free kick's been given away, and it will go to the aforementioned Gaillard.
Gaillard with the Northern Lights. Kicking to a dangerous location. Lots of players around. No one can come down with the mark. Carr comes down with the ball briefly, but there's a whistle. And a free kick to Caroline Leduc of the Northern Lights.
Yeah,
so
she got, I was going to say, she got the tackle there, David. That's what it was paid for, so it was a clean tackle.
Leduc, kick in, going towards the goal square. On the ground now. Picked up. Not much room out there. The Freedom have been defending hard, and they will get a free kick here. So they should be able to relieve the pressure a little bit as there's been lots of it for the Northern Lights here in the first quarter. Less than 8 minutes left here in the first quarter.
Amanda Dvorak comes out to the near side. Rushing after it is Ryan Ludo-Stansky, who had a fantastic Western Regionals, and I think may have she came out to the camp in St. Louis as well, but I think really done a fantastic job for that Arizona outfit. At Arizona, San Diego, Orange County, they've really banded together to help grow in that part of the area. We had a infraction on the ball in, and then, or unless we're going to redo it. Umpire set to throw the ball back into play. It hangs up in the air in this wind. Knocked down by Sarah Edwards, who's in on the ruck, but the Americans are able to release for now. Two black jumpers are there. Saliani is going up against Gaillard, who takes her down, and then that's Minnesota versus Golden Gate right there. They've had many battles, and we'll have a ball up. Catherine Saliani, in case you're watching, you've watcher of the USAFL, known normally as Kathy Oa, but we are referring to her as Kathy Saliani. Out to the near side, it's Ludo-Stansky now trying to work the ball forward. Soccers the ball off the ground nicely, but it goes over the boundary line and out of bounds. And before I hand it back to David, I want to if you're watching us or you're familiar with AFL and AFLW, we are not playing with the last touch out of bounds rule. Everything that goes out of bounds normally is a boundary throw-in, except for the normal exceptions.
If it's delivered, of course, which
yes.
Was determined to be there. This is the Freedom's first foray into their end of the field, as the Northern Lights have to defend for the first time. There's a kick by Poor Boy, but goes to a battle. Again, kind of bouncing around. A little bit of a clear there, but that's right to the player, Connor Lewis. So this will go to a dangerous place. Short laser beam kick into the forward 40 for the Freedom, but cleared by the Northern Lights. It goes towards the boundary line.
Ooh.
Oh, there's a big bump there.
Whoa.
Now picked up by Segula.
Go, Kojo.
There. That's off of hands. No mark there, but it is in the hands now of the Northern Lights. That's a short kick. That won't be a mark even if it was taken, but it wasn't. Quick tackle there by, I believe that was Edwards, but
here this is again. Ooh.
Oh, so that was Shinchelar and Connor Lewis, I believe, if I have my numbers right.
And Connor, as we mentioned, she's a coach, but she used to play. I think she was a wide receiver. She knows how to dole out those hits. I think that's the hardest hit I've seen her throw on a footy field. So great job by the Minnesota Freeze, and we know that elicited a loud cheer at a bar of their own in the Twin Cities, where we know they're having a watch party, having a few watch parties around. I know the USA. I know Denver and St. Louis are watching it back home. Ball will come in. Still 1-0 the score. 4.5 to go. That is an unofficial clock on your screen, so bear that in mind while watching. As the weather is still, what is the Jimmy Buffett song? Weather is here, wish you were beautiful. As the ball gets kicked up on the far side now, drops in front, bounces away. Lewis is in there, going after to pick it up again is Carr. Lewis goes and stumbles forward, and it'll be a free kick to the USA. And that wasn't Carr, rather, that was Amanda Mora who was in there, but the free kick's been given to Lewis. Wing position outer side, and she'll go in, deflects off of Saliani, right into the hands of Gabby Bureau from Quebec, and another veteran of the squad who's been around at least a decade. Lewis picks it up, tries to juke around, drop the pill, ball cried the crowd. Umpire says let the record play. That's on the intense side of the field because there are people over there intense. And ball gets knocked free again. Again, it's Saigula. Again, it's Lewis. And again, everybody is getting thrown backwards as Allie Dykes was pulled backwards in the ruck. And we'll have a ball up, wing position, outer side, 3.5 to go. Under 3.5 now, still 1-0 Canada.
Still looking for a first goal here in rainy conditions in Kelowna. But the Northern Lights do have a 1-point lead on the behind. Here's the Freedom. A bullet pass that is intercepted by the Northern Lights, and that will get them out of danger. As I said, we're less than 3 minutes left here in this first quarter. Another mark there as the Northern Lights try to get this ball down the field, right in front of the bench, the Canadian bench, near the boundary. Will it go over? It hasn't yet, but I believe it may have now.
Yep.
And this will be a ball in here. Dead center midfield, I believe, where we're at here. Ball in, off of hands. That was Edwards in the ruck for Canada. Picked up by Gaillard. Kick down the line. Battle for the ball now. In there is Charlotte Biot. And there's a bit of a wrestle there, and another ball up as we have a bit of an arm wrestle going on right now.
Yeah, it's going to be that type of game. And Charlie Bio does from the Ottawa Swans, I believe. She's done a fantastic job. I remember when she played in the Parallel Cup a few years ago, so it's good to see her on the senior side. It is going to be that kind of game. As we said, low scoring with the conditions as well. Under 2 minutes to go. Payable Apps scoreboard 1-0 as Gaillard tries to get the ball forward. Going and picking that one up was O'Halloran, who sends it back from whence it came, but it's marked by the Canadians on the wing position outer side. Over to get it is Esposito, who sends it up on the far side, bounces away, and after it, kicked along the ground. It curly cues away because physics is awesome. Thank you, Bill Nye, the science guy. Science rules, that's what he said. Oh, almost taking the mark over the top there was Al Leonard. The former
That'll be a free kick, push in the back, so that'll be a free kick for the Freedom. Approaching 1 minute left here in this first quarter, as it's just a 1 point lead for the Northern Lights. Only 1 point scored in this game so far. There's no mark there. On the ground is Esposito, I believe. And this will be a ball up. Less than 50 seconds left here by our clock in this first quarter. Freedom looking for their first points. That was off of hands. Well defended. Bit of a dipsy doodle. Gets a foot on that ball. Kick to the wing. Oof. No mark there. I believe that was Lewis. Mm-hmm. And it goes over the line, and that will be a boundary throw in. Probably less than 20 seconds left here in this first quarter.
Yeah, she's really throwing herself at the football, Dave, and that's not a surprise at all. And also, I want to shout out Katie Kowal, who affected that first kick in the back. The Americans putting the pressure on. That's what they have to do, especially in the inside 40 range. As the holder goes, and that is quarter time. Very much of an arm wrestle. There's no other way you could really put it. At the end of 20 minutes, it's the Canada Northern Lights 1, the USA Freedom 0. And that opening stanza, I was really impressed, especially with the USA Freedom, how they buckled down on defense. The Northern Lights had a couple of really good opportunities, Dave, especially with those free kicks. They were able to bat that away and come away only down 1 at the end. Now they just have to figure out how to lock it in the offensive zone.
The first part of that quarter was all Northern Lights in terms of territory. A little bit more for the Freedom in the last part of that quarter, but the 1 point that's been scored was scored by the Northern Lights. But we're going to take a break, and we'll be back. You're watching the 2026 49th Parallel Cup from Kelowna, British Columbia on the AFL Canada YouTube channel. This online broadcast of the 2026 49th Parallel Cup is brought to you by Payable Apps. Payable Apps makes accepting payments fast, simple, and secure. Cooper Equipment Rentals. Safe, reliable, on time. It's the Cooper difference. Tribal Sport. Smith & Sons General Contractors. Big White Ski Resort. Real Deal Australian Meat Pies. The Exhale Brew Company. And by the City of Kelowna.
Play for fun. Play for fitness. Play for glory. Play for community. Play for club. Play for country. Play for each other. Play because you love playing. Play footy. Visit AFLCanada.com and find a club near you today.
I make sure our equipment is always working so our customers can get the job done.
The service we provide has a lot of moving parts. I make sure the parts on those machines are maintained.
We are all responsible for maintaining quality service here. It's the Cooper difference.
Payable Apps is thrilled to be the official streaming partner of the 2026 Parallel Cup. Whether you're chasing down team registration and jersey fees for the new season or launching your next small business, Payable Apps makes accepting payments fast, simple, and secure. Less time chasing payments, more time on the field. Head to payableapps.com today and get started.
When the home you love no longer fits the life you live, you don't always need to leave it behind. At Smith & Sons, we transform existing homes through carefully planned second-story additions and complete full-gut renovations. From concept and design to construction, we bring experience, communication, and craftsmanship to every stage. Proudly building across British Columbia's Okanagan, from Kelowna through Vernon to Salmon Arm. Smith & Sons, renovate your home.
I'm fairly dry, just cold.
Yeah, I know, I'm starting to get kind of chilled.
Yeah. Just that water just evaporating.
Welcome back to Kelowna, British Columbia. After one quarter of the women's 49th Parallel Cup Championship match, the Canadian Northern Lights with one behind and 1 point to no score for the USA Freedom in rainy conditions here in Kelowna, British Columbia. And most of the stats prefer the Northern Lights at this point.
They do, but I think they really show the story of this game so far, Dave. You see the clearances 11-6 in favor of the U.S. That means they're doing a really good job defensively as well. The tackles are just about even, 18-14, but you see that the Canadians have had more of the territorial advantage. They also are winning more of the ball, as you see that free kick count, but very early days. We're not at the point where we can meme that just yet, but still a pretty good story of the first quarter in that stat pack.
Well, certainly the 1 point lead is the smallest lead you can have, so certainly they can't feel comfortable on the Northern Lights bench at this point. But certainly the first part of that quarter I thought was all Northern Lights. It was certainly more even in the last part of that quarter. So we'll see how the second quarter goes here at Rutland Recreation Park. We're just waiting for the restart here. As I say, rainy conditions, it does affect pretty much everything that you do in footy, from kicking to handballing to picking up the ball to whatever you're talking about. So
to preparing the commentate, to setting up everything else, that sort of thing, literally.
Again, I packed for summer weather, and this is far from that.
Well, I knew it was going to be cool. I didn't realize it. I mean, this is cold, as we said. The temperature right now, the forecast low is 13 degrees Celsius, 57 Fahrenheit, and that's what it is now. And we should mention, if you were watching the exhibition match, which, by the way, great match between the Okanagan Roosters and the U.S. development side, where the Roosters won 67-14. It's going to be like this pretty much the entire day. The good news is that the heavier stuff and the things that could have produced maybe stormier conditions seem to be more to our east. And I think that's kind of evident by the fact that when you look to the left side of the screen, most of the mountains are behind cloud cover. So it seems to be mostly to the east.
Yeah, well, some of these players, I'm sure, wish they had long sleeve jumpers here. It's, I'd say 13 degrees in August in Kelowna is not what you would expect, but we're about ready for the start of the second quarter, and we're going to have the tribal sport ball up. Here's Brian Barish.
Here we go again. It's McLean in the ball up against the Canadians here. And we were talking about this last night in the lead up to see what the Americans were going to do with their talls. They have a lot of players who are in the ruck. They were using Kaya Saigul a little bit earlier, who isn't known as a ruck, but McLean is. And there is Amy Carr, who also could play in that ruck position as well. But we'll have a secondary ball up once again in the middle of the ground, knocked forward there by Jacinda Schunzelar. And it's played up forward, going to get kicked along the ground. Dunn is there, able to get it away. Now a secondary kick, and this time got a little bit of air, but it's picked off by Ed, who is taken down from behind. Umpire says play on. Up on the far side now, going after it is Divya, who is on her opponent. They handball it out to the Canadians. Ball skitters along the ground. Can't pick it up cleanly. That's going to be a theme today, as going after it was Burkhart. And we have a whistle, and it will be a
thrown ball and a free kick to Canada here.
They are kicking to the right of screen towards the arena end.
I believe that's Caroline Leduc.
It is Leduc,
with the ball. Another kick to a dangerous area perhaps here. She's a good kick of the ball. That goes off of hands, off of Segula. Who can get the ball here? It's on the ground. That was a nice block there. Looked more like a soccer block than footy, but it looks like it went over the line. Will be a boundary throw in the pocket in the Northern Lights scoring end.
Shades of the World Cup once again. Seems like everybody was watching a lot of soccer, but you do see that a lot, and really, it's good effort to see them throw the ball. Really, they're just throwing themselves at the ball. A lot. The enterprise for the football has been magnificent for both teams, even at this early stage of the game. They work it out into the middle, and then it's picked up there by Lewis, and Kojo sends this one down off of hands. Chasing after it is the opposite number 2 in Gaillard, but she absolutely overran it, and then it goes all the way back now, and getting tugged backwards. Looked almost like they were playing tug of war. And we'll have a ball up directly across from us as we have played almost 2.5 minutes in on the Payable Apps scoreboard. Ball comes down, going to get picked up off of one step, tracking all the way back, going in. Munn is in there for the USA. They get it across, handballs it out. And again, a little bit of soccer action. Lewis dances away, gets away. Oh, leaves her defender in the dust. Sends this one down the ground, but overcooked the kick. But that's a good job of digging after it is Amanda Mora. Mora went after it, slipped over the ball. It's 1-on-2, able to get it off. Cordoba goes back, got a rusty kickoff, but it did the trick. Diving in after it again is Saigula. Cordoba goes up again. Here is Terse now from the Austin Crows, Philadelphia native. Ball goes back again. Now Carr pounces on it, able to pop it forward, but the Canadians able to pop it up in the air. Again, that was Leduc over the hands. That is Nikita Schunzelar going after it, but there once again is Saigula, who pumps this one back to the top of the 50-meter arc. Bounces off of Kowal. Now she goes back after it to go get it. There is Mora, who finds Cordoba, who almost got it off in time, but the umpire had the quick whistle, and she is the Canadian player who made the tackle was down.
Nice tackle there, but worse for wear on here.
Here we see this again on the Payable Apps replay, and it looks like she may have hit her head.
Yeah, that's certainly what it looks like there. So we have a bit of a hold up here as we take care of the Canadian player. Still didn't see the number there. I'm not sure who that is.
We'll keep an eye on it, and we'll tell you while we're waiting. Of course, this is the second of 4 games on the day. The men's championship game is coming up at approximately, let's see if I can do the math here, 1:30 p.m. Pacific time, which means 4:30 on the East Coast. And you can do your calculations for where you are. And then, of course, we'll have a women's development match. That will be the last game of the day, coming up at 3:45 Pacific time.
And an hour later in the Atlantic time zone, the true East Coast.
Yes.
I will say.
Well, the true East Coast in Canada.
And another half an hour for anyone watching in Newfoundland. Which
yes.
I'm sure there's plenty of those.
We were talking about the history of this series, Dave, and we go back and we take a look, as we said, this is the 11th matchup between these two teams. And, you think about going all the way back to 2007 when the U.S., in a game that was played in Burnaby, British Columbia, by the way, the U.S. won by the score of 97-0. And it's amazing to me how far the women's game has come in such a long time. And I think about a lot of the players, and I think about like a lot of the coaching staff as well. Tricia Rolfe, especially as a player and as a coach more recently, I think really was one of those people who really put in a lot of the hard work, both on and off the ground, to better the team. But the Canadians, as we said, they've really taken control of this series. And up until that last win, the Canadians had won 5 games in a row between 2013 and 2023. So the fact that the U.S. has come in and also has been more competitive, I think, really shows that. So that is the player now just getting up. We'll bring the, looks like 23. I'll bring this back up and tell you that was Christina Esposito. And she gets a round of applause. And I do believe, well, we'll see what the call was here. I thought that that holding the ball was the call, but it looks like it may have been high tackle because it is Amanda Mora from the Arizona Hawks, played college lacrosse in Connecticut. And she goes back to take the free kick. She was the MVP of the Western Regional as the ball gets sent in. Going to pick that one up was Amanda Bowe, who is the leading goal kicker for the Freedom in the Transatlantic Cup. Goes out into the middle of the ground, bounces as McLean watches that bounce by, but now gets a chance to go in after the second bite of the cherry. Couldn't take it. High contact against, I don't think it was Brancati. I think she was the one who was going after it. Now the umpire is pointing at her and giving the ball to Amanda Dvorak, who will take the free kick with 4.5 going. Second term, Canada still leading 1-0.
So here is Lewis. Lewis with the ball. Laser beam of a kick off of hands. Just inside the forward 40 for the Freedom, but cleared out. But right to Lewis again. Back come the Freedom. There is a handball to Segula. Quickly tackled. Ball on the ground. And that should be a ball up here just outside the forward 40 for the Freedom. Still a 1-0 lead for the Northern Lights. No goals yet in this matchup as we're more than 5 minutes gone here in the second quarter. Couple handballs, nicely done, but nice block there by the defense of the Northern Lights, and they gain control. And there's a whistle there, so it looks like a free kick to the Freedom.
Yeah, the Freedom.
It was a thrown ball.
Yep.
And this will be a great opportunity here for the Freedom to see if they can score their first points. They're hoping for 6, but we'll see what happens here.
Yeah, they gotta. I think they need to scramble the Jets here. The handball is letting them down a little bit, but I think that's mostly because of the conditions. And the skills really change a little bit. As here is Saliani. As we say that, it burns some worms on the way through, and then smothered off the foot of Zelly Moore, rookie from the Wisconsin Wombats. Now sending that one back on the far side now. There is Saigola going after it. So too is Dunn. Dunn soccers that one on and gains about 20 meters up the far side. Kicked off the ground there by O'Halloran. It hugs the boundary line like a teddy bear. And finally, I believe it has gone out of bounds, and it does. So the Freedom, however, in this second quarter have had a little bit more of the territorial advantage, but as we said, they just need to get, because there was that one play over there where a good handball to Amelia Carr, and they would have been off. So therein lies the issue. But both teams, I think, are having to deal with these conditions. It has been pelting down. It was pelting down when we got here at 7:45 this morning, and rushing it forward. Dunn, again, kicks it off the ground, does it a second time, and gets another 30 meters on the wing position. And Ed is over there. She watches it go out of bounds in front of Jess Burkhart. And we'll have a boundary throw in with 7 minutes going on the Payable Apps scoreboard. Canada 1, the U.S. 0.
Northern Lights with a bit better territory from their point of view here. That throw-in, I think, will be redone. The throw-ins are more difficult in the rain as well. It makes it more difficult for everybody.
Yeah.
And so here we go. Off it, batted again off the ground. You're going to see more soccer again in the conditions. I know we've been talking a lot about it. That's out in the full. And a free kick here for the Northern Lights. Caroline Leduc kicks it. Pretty high kick there. Lots of players underneath that, but the Freedom are able to gain possession and clear.
Up the far.
Off the far wing there. Northern Lights, not a great kick. Doesn't go very far. In there is Cadoba. And there'll be another ball up, right? Directly in front of us on the other side of the field.
Yeah, it's great.
By the Freedom.
I was going to say it's great to see Leilani Cordoba, who played for the USA Liberty in 2017, get the step up to the national side. Arguably one of the best players on the West Coast. Has played for Boston, has played for L.A., Sacramento, and has now found a home in Arizona. Actually, also played in the Waffle Women's in the Perth League for a minute. So she is very good talent, soccer player growing up, and has played extraordinarily well, and it's good to see her add her athleticism to this Freedom side. Ball in the, we'll say, about 90 meters around from the American target. Canada still leading 1-0. Ball goes to ground, and it's now going over the boundary line and out of bounds.
We are approaching 9 minutes gone here in this second quarter. Again, our time is unofficial, and that will be even more so with the stoppage due to injury. But it's certainly going in the Freedom direction right now, but can they gain control? They do momentarily. There's a block. Lots of players around the ball. There's a swarm of players around the ball, and there's a whistle, another ball up. Arm wrestle as it was in the first quarter, and the conditions again would lead to that sort of situation even more than normal. Going towards the ball is here is Terse. It's a back kicked off the ground. Almost as much soccer as the World Cup right now. Partially blocked in the pocket. Going towards goal. Can't get it there, and what a defensive play there, and kicks it towards the line. Will that be considered deliberate?
A great defense either way by Nicole Baker there on the last line of defense to pick that one up. She did that against 3 blue jumpers, I might add. When it looked like, I think that was Marissa Poorboy. She almost looked like an NFL kicker, like lining up a field goal. She took like 3 steps. The conditions are starting to induce that. The one thing, though, you have to be careful with is, if you're not familiar with Aussie rules, if the ball is on the ground and somebody has their head and their hands over it, you're not allowed to make an attempt to kick the ball. That's called kicking in danger. It's a dangerous play. Big tackle put on by Saigola, who takes her opponent down with a half Nelson, but with no prior opportunity, adjudicates the umpire.
That's Gaillard, who seems to be a little bit feeling it right now.
Yep. And
see if we have another stoppage here.
Yep.
I think we do.
Well, let's see. They haven't called anybody on yet, so she is getting up very slowly, but the game will continue. Ball goes up high in the air, gets knocked down. Saigola is in there. So too is Jacinta Schunzelar. And we'll have a ball up once again. Brian Barish alongside David Smith. Glad to have you along. A lot of people chiming in from all over the USA. And as we said, we know you're watching us in Minnesota at a bar of their own. And we know that Denver's having a watch party. We know that St. Louis is having a watch party. Ball goes up high in the air once again. A lot of planes flying around. And, you always get a little scared because it's like, that's not thunder, is it? We don't want any boomies today, as my daughter would say. And there, too, is Cordoba. Ball not moving, and finally they get it out. Ball pops up in the air. Canada chasing all the way back. So, too, is Amanda Bowe in that pocket. The Americans really haven't had an opportunity to unleash any of their forwards. Boundary throw in still 1-0, 8 to go, second term.
The ball in. Now off the hands of Edwards. Northern Lights trying to get it up the line, mostly by soccering. I believe that may be a push in the back. And nope, it will be a free kick for the Northern Lights. So to be able to relieve some pressure, it's been in the Freedom scoring end for quite a while here, but they certainly didn't get it in a real dangerous position. And we'll see what the Northern Lights could do. Look like they're going to go down the line. Pretty long kick to midfield. No one can mark that. And it's a free kick again to the Northern Lights. So this will allow them to get some territorial advantage at the very least. They have the 1-point lead. Only the one scoring shot in this game so far, are behind in the first quarter. Looking big right now. It's really difficult to get the ball downfield. Lots of players around the ball. That's been common in this game as well. Short kick. It's off the ground, picked up by Lewis. But that goes right to the other two, Leo Gaillard. Handball to Cohen Palacios. Here's Amy Carr, and there's a whistle. Mention again, Amy Carr plays for the Halifax Dockers in the AFL Atlantic in Canada. And she has the ball now.
Yeah, she got a free kick because she was caught high in that tackle. So Amelia Carr, and actually another one, played in Northern Territory with Pint in the Darwin competition last year. In fact, she too went to an NTFL grand final. As the ball comes to ground, bounces away. Mora pushed in the back, and it's going to get paid as such. So Amanda Mora will get the free kick. The U.S., again, starting to creep forward there. They've really only had one legitimate crack at the goals here. And Mora gets under this one a little bit. Everybody settles under it, but the pack out kicked. But the umpire spots a free kick, and the U.S. will get it. So they'll take it, and it was Cordoba. And this may be at the edge of her range, but in this weather, that may become even more true. We look inside, everybody gathering. We look towards the players in the scramble inside the 50-meter arc, 40-meter arc, as this one drops in front, bounces away. Good defense once again by the USA. Bo, again in there trying to get the handle, can't. Now it is Cordoba once again, and it looks like a rugby ball, and we'll have a ball up inside that 40-meter arc. Less than 5.5 minutes to go in the Payable Apps scoreboard. Ball goes up high. That was Allie Dykes in there on the ruck. Now it pops out to Saigola, who has a shot for goal, and it's there! Kaya Saigola pulls one out of the back pocket and puts the USA Freedom in the lead. Payable Apps scoreboard. USA 1 straight 6, Canada 1 point. Kaya Saigola, who is the best and fairest in the Super Regionals, arguably one of the best players in the league, and she showed it there. Really something out of nothing, and it's 6-1.
As you say, something out of nothing, quick kick, and that's the first goal of this game. A huge goal here for the Freedom, no doubt about it, and they take the 5-point lead on the Payable App scoreboard.
And here's the thing, you know, you've got her and you've got Connor Lewis. Connor Lewis, I think, plays, they both do a lot for their team. Connor, I think, plays with a little bit more flair. We've seen her knock over opponents. We've seen her swivel in and out of opponents. All Kaya does is her job. She does what she has to do. She goes and gets the football. She gives her team options. She always moves the ball forward. And right there, I mean, that was a fantastic kick. Really under pressure, really a broken play. And that is a huge goal for the USA Freedom.
Certainly not easy to turn around like that. No time. You're just kicking it. Beautiful job there, and takes the lead for the Freedom. So off of the ruck situation, we, again, the ball, and a free kick to the Freedom. So it's all going the Freedom's way right now. Here's Amelia Carr. So they'll try to, again, get into their forward 40. That hits grass, picked up by Bio. Going towards the line. Will it reach? Batted, kept in. Lots of players around the ball. And there's a whistle there. And it looks like it will be a ball in on the far side. Off the ruck, that is Edwards for the Canadians. There's a kick by the Freedom and a nice mark there by 19, Amanda Mora. Handball doesn't go well to Lewis, but they're still going forward. Gives a bit of a no thanks to there, and the kick towards the hot spot, but nicely defended. Can the Northern Lights clear it out? It's kicked to an open wing. Big battle for it here. Just kicked forward. Picked up, though, by the Freedom. Here is Leonard. Leonard kicks it towards the pocket, goes off of hands. Big kick, but it goes right to Zelly Moore. She's tackled, but it's going, just tackles all over the place here. And finally the whistle goes. And
that was, well, let's see who this was here. She clutched her head. Moore was in on the initial tackle, and that was Allie Dykes, who immediately went for her head, but she is still out there, so she's okay. Dykes in the ruck now. Ball comes to ground. Everybody gets pushed over. Lewis bootlegs around, goes back to Leonard. Leonard just gets it around Brancati, but it's turned over. Quick pressure put on by Kowal. Did she get pinged? Yes! They get a free kick out of it. So here is the Freedom. Great tackle by Katie Kowal. She's really asserted herself on the defensive side out of the DC Eagles. Let's see if she has the journey. Nope, goes off to the right, though. Goes free, bounces into the pocket, soccered off the ground from an odd angle, and it has gone through for a behind off the foot of Ryan Ludo Stansky. And Ludo, we mentioned she was a soccer player, and the difference now is one stray kick. Payable Apps scoreboard, USA Freedom 1-1-7. Canada Northern Lights one behind with a buck to go here until halftime.
Northern Lights will try to clear it out of their defensive end here. As you say, one kick, one goal difference here. Freedom leading, and there's Amelia Carr with the nice mark. Will they get another crack here? Kick towards a contest, off of hands. There's a battle for it. Kick towards the pocket. Lots of players around the ball. That can be dangerous in many ways. And there's a tackle. And finally the whistle goes. And this will be a free kick to the Northern Lights. So we are approaching likely just 10 seconds or so left in this quarter, but our time is unofficial, and we did have an injury delay, so it could be quite different from what our clock shows. And actually, our clock has ended, but the game is still going on. Battle along the side. We do think there's not much time left here in this first half, and there is the horn to end this first half, which you have to say that second quarter went more the Freedom way, and certainly when you look at the one goal in this game was kicked by the Freedom by Kayla Segula in that second quarter.
Yeah, and I think that really also shows some great adjustments being made by Andrew Donlan to throw more players up, especially players who usually we see more on the defensive side come on the offensive side. But really, I mean, Kaya had probably one of the best quarters of football I've seen her play, really all over the place. And again, that goal really making something from nothing to give that. The Lights looked at points like they were back on their heels. But even then you have to give them a fair bit of credit, especially Mabel Dunn, who's gotten a lot of the touches so far. It is still very much an arm wrestle status, I would think, because really this game is primed to go either way. But if I'm Andrew Donlan, really impressed, really proud with how the Freedom played in that second quarter. They just have to keep it up for 40 more minutes, and they will go home with the Parallel Cup.
Well, the Northern Lights certainly aren't hoping for that. We'll see what happens in that second half, but certainly the goal was an individual effort, which that's the type of goal you see in those conditions. You're not going to see a lot of chain of handballs and then a kick. It's an individual effort or getting a goal ugly. So anyway, we're going to take a break and give our sponsors some word. You're watching the 2026 49th Parallel Cup from Kelowna, British Columbia on the AFL Canada YouTube channel. Online broadcast of the 2026 49th Parallel Cup is brought to you by Payable Apps. Payable Apps makes accepting payments fast, simple, and secure. Cooper Equipment Rentals. Safe, reliable, on time. It's the Cooper difference. Tribal Sport. Smith & Sons General Contractors. Big White Ski Resort. Real Deal Australian Meat Pies. The Exhale Brew Company. And by the City of Kelowna.
Play for fun. Play for fitness. Play for glory. Play for community. Play for club. Play for country. Play for each other. Play because you love playing. Play footy. Visit AFL-Canada.com and find a club near you today.
I make sure our equipment is always working so our customers can get the job done.
The service we provide has a lot of moving parts. I make sure the parts on those machines are maintained.
We are all responsible for maintaining quality service here. It's the Cooper difference.
Payable Apps is thrilled to be the official streaming partner of the 2026 Parallel Cup. Whether you're chasing down team registration and jersey fees for the new season or launching your next small business, Payable Apps makes accepting payments fast, simple, and secure. Less time chasing payments, more time on the field. Head to payableapps.com today and get started.
When the home you love no longer fits the life you live, you don't always need to leave it behind. At Smith & Sons, we transform existing homes through carefully planned second-story additions and complete full-gut renovations. From concept and design to construction, we bring experience, communication, and craftsmanship to every stage. Proudly building across British Columbia's Okanagan from Kelowna through Vernon to Salmon Arm. Smith & Sons, renovate your home, transform the way you live.
This online broadcast of the 2026 49th Parallel Cup is brought to you by Payable Apps. Payable Apps makes accepting payments fast, simple, and secure. Cooper Equipment Rentals. Safe, reliable, on time. It's the Cooper difference. Tribal Sport. Smith & Sons General Contractors. Big White Ski Resort. Real Deal Australian Meat Pies. The Exhale Brew Company. And by the City of Kelowna.
Play for fun. Play for fitness. Play for glory. Play for community. Play for club. Play for country. Play for each other. Play because you love playing. Play footy. Visit AFL-Canada.com and find a club near you today.
I make sure our equipment is always working so our customers can get the job done.
The service we provide has a lot of moving parts. I make sure the parts on those machines are maintained.
We are all responsible for maintaining quality service here. It's the Cooper difference.
Payable Apps is thrilled to be the official streaming partner of the 2026 Parallel Cup. Whether you're chasing down team registration and jersey fees for the new season or launching your next small business, Payable Apps makes accepting payments fast, simple, and secure. Less time chasing payments, more time on the field. Head to payableapps.com today and get started.
When the home you love no longer fits the life you live, you don't always need to leave it behind. At Smith & Sons, we transform existing homes through carefully planned second-story additions and complete full-gut renovations. From concept and design to construction, we bring experience, communication and craftsmanship to every stage. Proudly building across British Columbia's Okanagan from Kelowna through Vernon to Salmon Arm. Smith & Sons, renovate your home, transform the way you live.
Welcome back to Kelowna, British Columbia, and a wet Rutland Community Park as we are finished the first half of the Women's 49th Parallel Cup Championship match with the Freedom leading by 6 points. We're going to go to Brian with some talk about some different stats that happened in that first half.
Well, the stats have definitely equilibrated a little bit, especially on the marks and the free kicks a little bit. The Americans, I think, ended up being something like 8-4 in terms of the free kicks in that second quarter. The inside 50s have also become a little bit more equal as well. It's now only 12. It's now 12-8 as the U.S. was all over those as the inside the 40-meter arc. The tackles are much. I mean, this is a very close game. It could go either way, and the stats bear that out. It also bears out. Really, you look at the low mark count, and that's just simply because the weather is has really played a factor. I will say this is about the brightest it's been the entire day in terms of the cloud cover. So the clouds seem to be moving through. It is still raining, and the ground is still very much wet. But the Americans, I think, as we say, the stats bear out that the Americans really have come on, the Freedom really have come on in the second quarter.
The difference in this game, though, is a great individual effort by Kayla Segula, a turnaround kick that ended up going through the big sticks and is the only goal of this game so far. But we're far from finished, and there's still 40 minutes to play in this one. The Northern Lights will still like their chances to get back into this. The rain has seemed to calm down a little bit, as we've talked about. We have one eye on the field and one eye on the forecast in this very wet Kelowna, British Columbia. Really the first time they've had rain in quite a few weeks, as I understand it. So the timing wasn't great for these players. And as I say, it's also very cold for this time of year. We're talking 13 degrees in August.
Yeah.
Which I don't think anybody expected. Certainly my packing didn't go along with that. So that has to affect it as well. You're not warm. It would affect certainly what you would do from handballs and kicks and that sort of thing. Any sort of those that type of thing. So. It's difficult conditions out there. Certainly not what you would expect for August.
Yeah, and I'd also say that the other thing that we haven't seen, we saw it maybe a little bit in the fourth quarter of the men's exhibition match, the last game. There's no wind to speak of, really, and that I think is good because I think that would make things just even. I think one, it takes away any sort of additional advantage with one team kicking the one side or the other. Now, if one does manage, if it starts to pick up, say in the third quarter, or especially the fourth quarter, that could change. But the other side of it is as bad as it is that it's cold and that it is rainy, if the weather, if it was much more windier, it would be even more cold, and I think it would make life a lot more miserable for the players out there. And the other thing I want to add, we said this earlier, but it's a shame that it is raining. But if you've been watching the news, you're of course familiar with the fact that really the Pacific Northwest of the U.S. and the western part of Canada have been dealing with a fair bit of wildfires over the last month plus, and there was definitely a concern amongst the officials here as to whether or not this game would go off if the smoke became an issue. The rain has helped dissipate that, and even, anything that's lingering, it's doing that as well.
No, we are happy for the lack of smoke for sure, but would like the rain to hold off a little bit, but can't order the weather around, and we're waiting for restart here in the second half. The umpires aren't quite ready yet. Again, it's a 1-goal lead for the USA Freedom in this women's 49th Parallel Cup match, and I think we're just about ready. And for the Tribal Sport Ball-Up, it will be Brian Barish.
As we look at the rucks again, Tracy McLean in there against Jacinda Schunzelar. And as the umpire steps forward, tosses the ball to the heavens, gravity takes effect. Sometimes it takes offense, and the third quarter is underway. And there is Lewis going in after it. So too is Nikita Schunzelar, who's in there. Everybody is playing aggro twister. But here is Leo Gaillard. Here's a first insertion inside 50 as the ball gets knocked down, as a handball, as the ball gets knocked down in front. Going to pick that one up and can't do it. Over to get it is Leduc inside the forward line. Going backwards. That was a dangerous handball. Pfluger not able to get to it cleanly, and then going after it. The Canadians stay with the footy and picking that one up and going all the way back. Now the Americans got to get to it, and there is Carr. Great smother coming through by Anna Brancati, and now it's a 2-on-1 contest. Digging in after it is Dvorak. She gets taken down. Play on as there is Carr. Had the affected kick, and I think that's going out on the full. And it's either way, it's going out of bounds.
It's going to be a ball in.
It will. It did just catch it looks like it did just catch the paint on the way out. 1 minute gone, second quarter, 7-1 Freedom on the Payable Apps scoreboard.
So we're going to have a ball in right at midfield. Off the hands of Schunzelar. The Freedom get the ball. Nice kick. Oh, off the chest there. Couldn't take the mark. In there is Pereira. Picked up by the got her by the jersey. Quick kick. Again, bit of messy play right now. In there is Segula, the 1-goal kicker in this game. Tempted kick there by Moore. And there'll be a tackle there by Bow, and a whistle sounds and a ball up to the right of us a little bit to the Freedom scoring end. As I say, they lead by 1 goal. Lots of time left. We're just a little over 2 minutes here into the third quarter. That's not picked up there by Poorboy, and there's a whistle. And there's a free kick here to the Freedom, as they lead by the 1 goal. A little less rain here, I think. Long kick off the chest of Bow on the ground, bouncing around between different players there, and this will be a whistle and a ball up.
Ball up will occur just outside, we'll say right around the wing position. I would say just in the left half forward flank for the USA Freedom, but it gets sent all the way back. Leonard is immediately beset upon there by Polinelli, and then just able to get it forward. Americans now working up on that far side. There is Carr, and it is gone. Great tackle thrown in there, and they will play on. Advantage paid to the Canadians, and they have wasted it by sending it out on the full. So full of sounded fury, signifying absolutely nothing in the end. The U.S. will get a free kick directly across from us. The only goal of the game so far, Kaya Saigula kicking one from a broken play from about 30 meters out towards the end of that first quarter. And yep.
Out of bounds. That individual play is the difference right now. There's and that could be very important because goals will be hard to come by in the conditions right here. So we'll see if the Northern Lights can respond at some point here in the third quarter.
McLean, it gets the hit out to advantage now, looking for Saigula, picked up by Brancati, who sends this one down, again following the boundary line. And again, it is going out of bounds on the full. So I think they need to switch that play is what I'm seeing from that. Allison Leonard, the co-captain from the Golden Gate Iron Maiden, sends that one forward late of the Seattle Grizzlies and Denver Bulldogs. But we have a free kick behind the play and some good sportsmanship there as Gabby Bureau, who is a fantastic human being, and as we said, been around a long time. Her partner is Morgan White, and is on the national team as well. I haven't glanced at the roster. I know he was in the Parallel Cup.
He's here.
He is, in fact, here. Thank you. And it will be a boundary throw-in.
Not the only couple as well.
Yeah.
Julia Rands and Costa Colivas are the first couple of AFL Atlantic, are both with their respective national teams for Canada here at this tournament. So, again, a shout-out to all my friends in AFL Atlantic. Ball on the ground. Big battle for it there. And it looks like a whistle and a free kick again to the Freedom, which has been kind of the story of this third quarter. It must be about the fourth free kick that they've been given. So Northern Lights can gain control. That goes off of hands and then goes in the hands of the Northern Lights. Now, Freedom. So here's Poor Boy, kicks it, and no mark there. Oh,
big tackle.
Big double tackle there. And another one, but keeps going forward for the Freedom, but a good defensive mark there. And we'll see if the Northern Lights can relieve the pressure.
Not easy marked in this, and that I believe was Keelan Farron. Yep. In this weather, that is not an easy task. And the ball goes over the boundary line and out of bounds. Handling
super important as well. You'd have to think that a 2-goal lead would be certainly a big lead in these conditions.
A goal in these conditions is almost worth 2. It seems like, because it's just because of how rare it's been and how slippery the conditions have been. But now the Americans, the Freedom working in. There is Saigoa, April Munn, that is David's counterpart, president of the USAFL, setting this one in, and the ball goes to ground. Gets away now. Chasing after it is Lindsay Turst. Getting there first is Kowal. Gets around 2 defenders. Sends that one into the pocket. Off the hands of Shunsalar. Sending this one in towards the sticks. Now the question is did it go out of bounds? No, it just snuck in. That's a handy point for the Freedom, because now 2 kicks separate the sides. On the Payable Apps scoreboard, the USA Freedom go to 1 goal, 2, 8 points. The Canada Northern Lights 1 behind. We've played a little more than 6.5 minutes in this third quarter. Brian Barish alongside David Smith, whose voice you're going to hear right now.
As approaching 7 minutes gone here in this third quarter. As Brian noted, it's now a 7-point lead, a 2-kick lead for the Freedom, and it's still in the scoring end of the Freedom, and it's on the ground and dead, so it's going to be a ball up just in front of the Smith & Sons bar area here at the field. Now, ball on the ground. Picked up and tackled right away was Gaillard. And that'll be another ball up. Again, not much room here for anybody. It's been full on wherever the ball has been. Lots of players around it. Tempted handball. It pops out to Carr. Carr kicks it towards the hot spot. Off of hands. Did she get the double clutch? And I believe she did. That will be a free kick for April Munn. As you said, the president of the USAFL.
And a strong, strong mark by April. And what concentration. Second bite of the cherry. And Munn, who was the leading goal kicker in the Western Regionals and who kicked a couple in the Transatlantic Cup. She winds up. This will be from about 30 meters out. The new mom sends it on its way. It is dead. Center, perfect goal to April Munn. The Freedom have kicked 2 goals against the Canada Northern Lights for the first time in 11 years. And on the Payable App scoreboard, the Freedom 2-2-14. The Northern Lights 1 behind. Great mark and rewarded with the goal off the foot of the veteran. Another one. She won a premiership in the Northern Territory with the Southern Crocs. Played in the VFLW with Essendon, and I'll tell you what, it took her a while to get into the national team program. She's been in the league 10 years, but my goodness gracious, she's really asserted herself as the key forward for the Freedom.
And the key for that was a mark, which, again, in the conditions is really tough. We haven't seen a lot of those, particularly in those dangerous parts of the ground. So a great play there by Munn, and certainly now gives the Freedom not necessarily a commanding lead, but certainly a bigger lead than you would look at than it would be in good conditions. So anyway, here's Carr for the Freedom. That goes off the hands of Sakara. Picked up by Esposito for the Northern Lights. It's on the ground now. At it is Bow. Picked up by the Northern Lights. That's going to go to anybody. Only Carr has that. So the Freedom, again, it's been all Freedom in this quarter. Carr with the kick to a contest, and that was a tackle without the ball. Free kick here to number 28, Keelan Farron. And the Northern Lights will finally relieve a little bit of the pressure and see if they can get some momentum here in the third quarter.
Comes out to the middle of the ground now. Tracking back on it again was Carr. Went off of her shirt front. Ball goes to ground. Gaillard tried to get it through. Ed was there, but there is Saigola with another possession. Sending this one again. Chasing after it again is Kowal, who bats it forward now, trying to her own advantage. One-on-one contest. It's Kowal against Farron now. Ball hugs in front of the Smith & Sons beer tent, and the ball goes over the boundary line and out of bounds. The Freedom definitely playing on the front foot here after the Canadians really in the first quarter held the sway of play, but it's been almost all Freedom here. But you have the feeling that it's bend not break at this point for the women in the black and the red, and there is a giant human pile, and we'll have a ball up.
Yeah, the Northern Lights are going to have to find a way of changing the momentum of this game, because it's certainly going in the Freedom direction. Breaks a tackle there was number 2, Lewis. Kick towards a dangerous location. Nice defensive play there, and clears it off of the hands of Nikita Schinchler. Picked up, though, by Poor Boy, and through the hands of Jacinda Schinchler. Difficult with my S's there. On the ground now. Lots of bumping going on. Still going in the Freedom direction. Cleared a little bit, and that goes towards Hussein. Big tackle there. Picked up by the Freedom. It's still going a little bit the Northern Lights way, inching, but there's only 2 players, one from each side, anywhere near the forward 50. And here's going towards... it's on the ground now, picked up by the Freedom. Kick, low kick, but it could... Ooh, there's a big bump in the back, but that will be a bump in the back and a free kick to the Freedom. Number 6, Lindsay Terse.
Lindsay Terse, we know Heather Serpico and friends are watching in Austin, Texas. Ball goes out to the far side. Lining that one up was Morrissey, another Sacramento Sun. Again, the pressure being applied by the Freedom here, and we'll have a whistle, and I believe it will be a ball up, and it will be. Good job by Morrissey. Good job by Terse to earn that free kick. And a good job by Connor Joe Lewis, especially in that back line. Ball gets knocked down. Ball goes into the pocket now. There's Cordoba. Ball goes by Terse. Going to pick that one up. That's going to be a free kick. And I believe it is going to go the way, of Nicole Baker. Was held without the football. So the Northern Lights will have a chance to shake the old Etch-a-Sketch and try and drop something new. Baker comes out to the near side. Hangs up in the air, not taken by Lewis, who is then collared by Brancati. Now the question is, was she brought down from behind? No, it is a good tackle, and the captain of the Northern Lights and the head of the best player, I would think, or the captain of the Burnaby Eagles had it, but she turns it back over to guess who? Kaya Saigola. Saigola has the football now. 2 kicks from goal here, sending this one in, looking for Munn. Kowal almost took it. Picking that one up is Cordoba. Ball goes to ground. Over to get it now is Sequeira. Comes back out to Saigola. Ball got deflected high up in the air. Ball goes to ground once again, getting knocked backwards. The Americans trying to push forward. Really a lot of give and take both ways. Sequeira lost it. Now going after it is Cordoba. She is shoved down, no call. Little handball back. Baker tried to clear it out. Didn't go terribly far. Now it's Carr. Going to get picked up there by Allie Dykes of the Denver Bulldogs. Ball goes over into the pocket now. Onto the wing position, sort of that half-forward flank type area, and finally cleared out there by Gabby Bureau. Now it's going to get picked up once again. Big tackle put in by the Americans. They work it back against Saigul with another bloody possession. Sends this one up on the far side now. Going to get picked up again. That is Kowal into the pocket now. One-on-one contest. Improper disposal is called. Canada will have a chance to clear out. With 5.5 to go, they trail by 13 points, and they're about 150 meters from where they need to be.
It's not the end they need to be in, being behind by 13 here. It's been all freedom really in the third quarter. But the Northern Lights getting a little bit. Long kick down the line. Can they get a further possession? It's bouncing and rolling. It's picked up by Hussein. And she's tackled. And it's a free kick to the Northern Lights. So they'll get a chance here to get a little forward pressure. They haven't had a lot of it here in the third quarter. Short kick. That's long enough for a mark, and it goes to the Freedom. Here's a kick down the line. Bounces. Wasn't able to be picked up. Ball on the ground. Lots of players around the ball. Resembling a rugby match at times here in the wet in Kelowna. Low kick. Gets some more meterage here for the Northern Lights. This is the further the end they need to be in. They trail the Freedom by 13. We are approaching 4 minutes left here in the third quarter. This will be a ball in. Not many players actually in the forward 50 or 40 for the either team in the Northern Lights end. So,
little bit of pushing after the play there, but I think that was just not giving the ball back straight away. But the Americans have it through Allison Leonard, who sends it up on the far side now, originally from Kenmore, Washington. A lot of the Seattle connections around here, players playing for different teams. We mentioned April Munn. She began her career with Seattle, now playing for the Golden Gate Iron Maidens. Leonard playing with Golden Gate by way of Seattle and Denver. And then Marissa Poorboy began her career with Seattle before moving to Denver as well. And then we mentioned Amy Carr, who started with Seattle and now plays for the Halifax Dockers in Nova Scotia. Ball's up on the far side. Ed against Hussein, the two number 12s. It's Hussein who wins it, but it's harried by Saigola, who takes her down. No call, and it's sent back the other way. Hangs up in the air. Done. Didn't get it cleanly. There, handballs it back to Carr. Carr gets away from one, gets away from two, and left foots it down the boundary line, not held on to by the Canadian player, and it's still, nope, it's going out of bounds because everybody is nominating. Still 14-1, Payable Apps scoreboard, less than 3 minutes to go, third quarter. U.S. looking for their first Parallel Cup victory since 2013. You see somebody's holding up signs back there. I'm not sure for whom that is, but they're trying to get on TV. I'm wondering if it's, well, no, I don't want to make any speculations. Well, I'm going to see if I can figure out what those signs say a little bit later on, but I think it's on the Canadian side. But in any event, you're not missing any football.
Time left, perhaps. You have the device that can see it more so than I am. Appears we have an injury delay here. I can't see from my angle. Your binoculars tell who that is?
Not at the moment because the player is on their back. So we have a stoppage of play here, and we'll tell you that coming up after this game with the scheduled time of 1:30 Pacific time, the USA Revolution will play the Canada Northwind in the men's championship match. The Northwind, speaking of droughts, the Northwind are looking for their first win over the Americans, not only in the Parallel Cup, but in general in 19 years. But the good news for the Canadians is that the last time they won was in Vancouver. So they are back in British Columbia. They are undefeated against the USA in British Columbia. So they're hoping that history will repeat themselves.
Hoping the British Columbia is lucky for them for sure. Still have a delay here in
The only
this
thing I noticed
match.
is that
As
the ref
the
jerseys
Freedom,
look right.
with 2 goals, 2 behinds, 14 points, lead the Northern Lights with 1 behind, 1 point on the Payable Apps scoreboard. And rainy Kelowna. We've talked a lot about it, the conditions. The rain has tapered off a little bit, I believe. Still going to be wet conditions out there. Obviously, the grass is going to be still wet regardless of if it totally stopped at this point. But it looks like we're ready to go, and a ball in. Off of hands for the Northern Lights, but now here is...
Yeah, almost hit somebody with one of those signs,
I
too.
believe that would definitely be out on the full.
Yeah.
That would be an easy one to call. So that'll be a free kick to the Freedom. They lead by 13 points.
They're having a good laugh over there. Just those three women who have the signs up. I don't think they were expecting that they too would have to take a mark.
Well, they're probably aiming at the person with the umbrella at this point. Everybody wants one of those right now here in Kelowna, but there's a kick down the line.
Oh, nice mark up on the far side, and the Canadians trying to move the ball forward. We've got now at this point less than 2 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter. And a little handball back. There is Carr. And we're both having problems. Up on the far side of Leonard trying to insert herself inside the play. Out to the near side now. Both comes up high in the air. Off the hands of Amanda Dvorak. Going to get picked up now and swung around on a sixpence. There was Devia along the boundary line. And the ball goes over the boundary line and out of bounds. We'll have a boundary throw in. Down to roughly, I would say, under 90 seconds to go in this game, in this third quarter. U.S. leading 14-1. Ball comes spinning back into play, went straight up in the air. Over the top was Sarah Edwards in the ruck. And Edwards trying to bust out. Instead, it's the other number 5. That's Kaya Saigola, who sends this one down, but it's picked off back the other way by Bio. So Charlie Bio sends this one up high, off of hands, right to the waiting Leo Gaillard. Go, Leo. Now the other way, goes up at a nice mark, taken a diving chest mark by Marissa Poorboy. Another one I don't think gets the plaudits she should, and definitely a great addition for the Denver Bulldogs on the defensive side. As the ball goes up on the far side, but it's turned over. And the Canadians have it. Not much time left in this third quarter. Pops in front. Ed steals it. A little bit of a barrel, but it wasn't very far. Picked up and sent out high in the air. Oh, there was a huge bump after the kick by Jess Burkhart. And it'll be a free kick going the USA's way.
Front on contact there, so a free kick. Freedom will able to relieve the pressure a little bit.
It's Saliani with the kick.
Unable to get the mark on the far side near the line. Can't be much time left here in this third quarter. As we say, Freedom up by 13. In difficult conditions in Kelowna. But things seem to be it seems to be getting brighter, so we have hopes of better weather ahead. But right now it's stormy seas for the Northern Lights as they're behind by 13, but do get a free kick. Oh, nice smother there, but a tackle right away. And boy, some furious action there, and a ball up on the first side.
Not much time left in this third quarter. In fact, there is the hooter, and that ends the quarter. Well, the USA Freedom are in a very interesting position, and I don't remember, because if memory serves me, they were losing in the third quarter, heading into the third quarter in the Transatlantic Cup. I don't remember the last time they've had a third quarter lead against the Northern Lights, but they do. At the end of the third quarter, the USA Freedom, 2 goals, 2 behinds, 14 points. The Canada Northern Lights, 1 behind. Kaya Saigola, that goal in the second quarter, beg your pardon. April Munn adding to it here in the third, and I just got a report, will confirm this, that was Amanda Mora who is down hurt. Hopefully she's able to return. Our thanks to Martin Coventry from Portland who spotted that for us. We didn't see that in the broadcast, but yeah, that's where we are.
All right, wish her the best. And we're going to take a break to give our sponsors a word. So with the 13-point lead for the Freedom, you're watching the 49th Parallel Cup on the AFL Canada YouTube channel. This online broadcast of the 2026 49th Parallel Cup is brought to you by Payable Apps. Payable Apps makes accepting payments fast, simple, and secure. Cooper Equipment Rentals. Safe, reliable, on time. It's the Cooper difference. Tribal Sport. Smith & Sons General Contractors. Big White Ski Resort. Real Deal Australian Meat Pies. The Exhale Brew Company. And by the City of Kelowna.
Play for fun. Play for fitness. Play for glory. Play for community. Play for club. Play for country. Play for each other. Play because you love playing. Play footy. Visit AFL-Canada.com and find a club near you today.
Make sure our equipment is always working so our customers can get the job done.
The service we provide has a lot of moving parts. I make sure the parts on those machines are maintained.
We are all responsible for maintaining quality service here. It's the Cooper difference.
Payable Apps is thrilled to be the official streaming partner of the 2026 Parallel Cup. Whether you're chasing down team registration and jersey fees for the new season or launching your next small business, Payable Apps makes accepting payments fast, simple, and secure. Less time chasing payments, more time on the field. Head to payableapps.com today and get started.
When the home you love no longer fits the life you live, you don't always need to leave it behind. At Smith & Sons, we transform existing homes through carefully planned second-story additions and complete full-gut renovations. From concept and design to construction, we bring experience, communication, and craftsmanship to every stage. Proudly building across British Columbia's Okanagan from Kelowna through Vernon to Salmon Arm. Smith & Sons. Renovate your home, transform the way you live.
Am I seeing 14 feet?
14-1.
14-1. Wow.
Welcome back to Kelowna, British Columbia, after 3 quarters of this women's 49th Parallel Cup championship match. It's 13 degrees in Kelowna, and the Freedom are up by 13. And my wife reminded me that she convinced me not to bring a sweater. So, Brian, we have some stats that you can discuss.
Yeah, and once again, the Americans really, in a game where scoring chances are at a premium, they've had 19 inside 50s to the Canadians' 9. The free kicks, again, the Canadians still have a little bit of an advantage, but they haven't had a chance to make the Americans pay. Now you see the number of marks come up. Now 21 marks total, just about even. So, and a couple of those marks really in difficult conditions. Tackles, look at that, 50 to 45, really ferocious tackling out there. And the Canadian clearances have gone up a bit. Really, it's outside of the inside 50s, which correlates to what's on the cash register. Every other stat is pretty even.
Going to be important to get a quick start here for the Northern Lights. You'd have to think they got to get a goal pretty early in this quarter to have a chance. But we'll see what they can do as the ball is up. And we're going to be ready for the tribal sport ball up and Brian Barish.
And fourth and final quarter underway, are the U.S. Freedom 20 minutes away from a historic victory in terms of time. Not if Leo Gaillard has anything to say about it, and she gets a kick. Bumped from behind there. Abby Morrissey staying with it, but so too is Mabel Dunn, who picks it up but didn't cleanly, was cleared out by Kaya Saigoa, who is like goose excrement. She is absolutely everywhere, and I mean that in a good way, as the ball comes out to the near side. As it comes out now, there is Carr, who comes out big, put in there by Saliani. Oh, big tackle in on Gaillard. May have been after the ball was out of bounds, and in fact, the free kick has been paid to the French native. And they are looking at it in front of it as we take a look at it again. Yeah, that was a sling tackle, and rightly called, but Gaillard gets up. And it was paid, so it will be a free kick. And so now it'll be a free kick going the other way. So it looks like we're going to do it. So Leo Gaillard will get a free kick. Let's do it again. The Freedom, again, lead by 13 points. And again, if you're just joining us, we've got the USA Revolution taking on the Canada Northwind coming up. So here is Gaillard, who goes in the middle, plucked that one off. Oh, it's paid. Plucked off of a plate of grass by Anna Brancati. Now it comes out to the near side. Oh, big shove. Oh, good job by Saliani against Gaillard. And Saliani picks that one up, tries to back her way in, Brancati, but the ball went out of bounds first. And we'll have a boundary throw-in.
Just to the right of us. Northern Lights need something here soon. Behind by 13 to the Freedom. Off the ruck, it goes off of hands of Schinschler. That is Jacinda Schinschler. There is two of them. They are sisters. Free kick given here to Carr. Carr, the Halifax Dockers. Formerly the Seattle Grizzlies. Kick down the line. You'd think that's where the Freedom will go. Ball just on the line. It goes over and will be a boundary throw-in just to the left of us.
In front of Abby Morrissey from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Got a couple of PA folks here. And we'll see one with the Revolution when Ryan McGettigan is here. And as we said, that game is coming up at 1:30 Pacific time. So ball comes spinning back into play. Ball goes to ground. There's Terse by Morrissey as that one goes forward. Trying to go forward was Burkhart. Ball gets dropped. Little handball back. This is Gaillard trying to make some room. Finds Dunn with a nice mark. Good job by Mabel Dunn to make some room. And Dunn sending this one up high. Saigoa can't take it. Was clobbered at just sort of incidentally. Getting dragged down was Dykes. And then back the other way. Ball comes back up in the air. And Hussein is in there for Canada. This is the best chance they've had in some time. Hussein just gets it high in the air once again. Slapped down by Devia, cleared out by Leonard. Nice mark coming forward by Jacinta Schinschler.
Schinschler now with the ball, seeing if she can get it to a dangerous location. Northern Lights looking for somebody who can get open. Here's a kick. It's high. It goes through the hands of Brancati and on the ground. Picked up. She's tackled. Play goes on. A lot of players around the ball. Attempted handball there by Hussein. Picked up by the Freedom and cleared out of the 40-meter scoring area for the Northern Lights. Couldn't get a kick away there. Picked up and a tackle. Oh, there's a big bump. Northern Lights trying to get something going here. Kick to the hot spot. picked up. That handball goes awry, and the Freedom will clear and kick it to the midfield, but to the hands of the Northern Lights. So this might be coming back again, but that's a nice tackle there by McLean, and that will be a free kick there. Quick handball, and nice dipsy doodle, but also a smother there by the Northern Lights player. Ball on the ground. And it's tough slugging out there, but it is in the end where the Northern Lights are trying to score.
Tracy McLean throwing her body at the football, recently got married, and she's been all over. They've been all over the place. In fact, they just came back from Hawaii for this tournament. As the ball gets knocked down, now there is a dog pile, and more time ticks away as we have 14 and a half minutes to go. USA leading by 13 on the Payable Apps scoreboard. McLean. There is Shuntalar once again. Ball is goes now soccered off the ground. Going to get kicked off the ground once again, going in the other direction, and it's going to get picked up. There going back is Hussein. Hussein sends this one up high, going over to get it, drops in front. Bio gets it on a hop, gets away from Quokka, and handballs it, but in fact the ball has gone out of bounds. It'll be a boundary throw-in.
In the pocket in the Northern Lights scoring end. It's at least where they want it to be, but can they get a mark or control in front of the big sticks? They haven't been able to do that yet. Haven't been able to kick a goal yet in this game. And there's another hold up and a ball up. Again, Freedom leading by 13. We are about 6.5 minutes into this final quarter. Northern Lights desperately need a mark in their forward 40. They haven't really been able to get one of those for a very long time. I think there was one in the first quarter, but that hasn't been a feature of their game so far in the second half, certainly. Off hands, near the line. Ball in dispute. Picked up. Handball there. Kick towards the hot spot.
Oof.
But defender had the better place there. It's on the ground. Lots of players around the ball. Looking more like a rugby game than a footy match at the moment. Pick it up. There's a handball. Can't keep it. Tackle, but she didn't have the ball. That will be a free kick to the Freedom.
Lindsay Terse wins the free kick, and the Freedom are 12 and a half minutes away from the victory. They have it in the center half back. And in fact, I think she's been awarded a 25-meter penalty. Ball's out on the far side now. Nope, not the case, as the ball's out on the wing position. Saw everybody moving forward and threw me off. This is the Barish messed one up, so it's drink. As it's on the far side now, being sent back. Canada trying to knock on heaven's door, but USA not by the hair of our chinny chin, something along those lines. Hand goes up, ball goes out of bounds. Those are members, by the way, of the Burnaby Eagles who are showing the signs there. There was a few Fly Eagles Fly, which as a Philadelphia Eagles fan, I'm all about. Go Birds. And the ball's up on the far side once again.
Cape Breton Eagles as well.
Yep.
Patrick McNeil, play-by-play announcer of the Cape Breton Eagles. So hello to Patrick, who I'm sure is watching online back there in Cape Breton, 4 time zones away.
Yep. So this is Kaya Saigula who has the footy. We mentioned there really hasn't been much of a breeze, and what little there is seems to be favoring the Freedom at this point as they kick towards the Hemlock Road end. And the ball has gone out of bounds once again, and I believe it has gone, it is another boundary throw-in. So once again, as we near the midway point of this final term, again, 14-2 the score. 14-1, beg your pardon, 14-1 as the ball goes to ground. Don't want to confuse anybody, including myself. And we'll have a ball up on the far side.
Far side, approaching the halfway point of this fourth quarter. The Northern Lights quickly looking at the clock as an enemy as they are behind by 13. So they're 3 kicks away from and there's an injury here. It looks like she's okay. I believe that was Abby Morrissey, but
And Abby's really come on the last couple of years, David. Was on the, actually, I think, played double duty in the 2023 Parallel Cup, played in both games.
Along the line now, as the Northern Lights try to get it downfield. Does get some meterage there. It hits grass, picked up. They trying to gain control. And was that a mark? No, dropped. Big battle for the ball. It is in the Northern Lights end. Can they gain control and get a kick at goal? And that's a whistle, and that will be a ball up. As we have just 9.5 minutes left here in this fourth quarter with the Freedom up by 13. It's lucky 13 for the Freedom, unlucky 13 for the Northern Lights right now.
Hussein has the football, picks it up, now moves it forward ever so slowly. Terse tackled in there by Polinelli, and the ball squirts out again. Reese Watermelon time here, cleared out nicely there by, I believe that was Dvorak up on the far side now. Going to get put back in the middle of the ground. Keeping vigil there is Amanda Bowe. Hasn't been as involved offensively, hasn't needed to be, but is there holding vigil. And now back the other way. Again, that's Guy R being sent down, knocked down quickly. Carr has it, able to squeak free. Now, again, continues on the far side of the ground in front of the grazing room only crowd here in Kelowna. As the ball gets knocked free once again, over to get it. Everybody's sitting on each other before the ball squirts out. Again, it's Bowe now, up on the far side now. Saliani, big hit put in there against Esposito, and then Esposito gets it. She's wrapped up, but she was wrapped up high, and she'll get the free kick given away by Kathy Saliani. We're getting down to the nitty-gritty. 8 minutes and 20 seconds to go. USA have not beat the Freedom in a parallel cup, or the Freedom rather, have not beat the Northern Lights in a parallel cup game since 2013 in Edmonton. And they are looking on the precipice of doing it, but the Northern Lights are putting on the pressure. Right now, it would take 3 kicks to do it. Up on the far side, sent forward. Nice, almost taking the mark, though, was Guy R, but now 2 players are in there, Ludo Stansky, and so too is Sequeira. And we'll have a ball up directly across from us. Tick, 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 tick. 7:45 to go. Payable Apps scoreboard.
Ball up now. Far end. Far side of the field. And that'll be another one. As this really favors the Freedom. Slower the play, better it is. Clock is an enemy of the Northern Lights right now. Batted ahead. Going towards it is Bukart. And
free kick to
free
Canada.
Kick to 15 Brancati. Need a goal here quickly. Kick down field. That's off of Carr's hands. Picked up by the Freedom. Kick towards the Northern Lights 40-meter scoring area. Off hands again. Quick tackle there. In there is Cinchelar. And it's another whistle. And again, these whistles favor the Freedom right now, as the time is the enemy for the Northern Lights.
We've mentioned Abby Morrissey. Her wife, Cassie Belden, has just started playing. It's great when you can get your partners and when you can get everybody and family members and get everybody involved, and that's fantastic. We wanted to shout her out as well. I know she's watching it back in Sacramento. Ball comes back into play once again, as here is Canada. Again, they need 3 kicks at this point, as the ball is now, again, pushing forward. Bio is in there. So too is Lise Kiefer. Ball pops out in the air. Over to get it was done. Brancati will get the ball off of a handball, off of one step, left-footed kick inside, almost taken there by Mora out the back. It is ball goes out of bounds, or check that. That was Dvorak who was in there, the 18. And the ball goes over and out. We'll have a boundary throw in once again. Nope, it will be a free kick. It will go the way of Canada, and they need a goal here. They need one quick, fast, and in a hurry. It's my friend Ryan Kavanaugh, used to play with the Philadelphia Hawks, said get the first, then get the second. As this is sent down, as the wind has sent things sprawling. And it is a nice mark in front. Ball, it was a great tackle, beg your pardon, as Amelia Carr was mown down. And it is a free kick. Distance shouldn't be an issue, but it is at about a 60-degree angle.
And let's see if they could, the Julia Rands perhaps?
I believe so.
If it was an all AFL Atlantic tackle. Rands on Carr. Kicks towards goal. Is it the first goal of the game? It doesn't have the leg, and it never went over. So can the Northern Lights get the control? They can't right now. Can the Freedom clear? There's a nice handball. That's smothered. Going in there is MacArthur. Also there is, Leonard. Picked up there by Gaillard. Kicked toward the middle, but to no one in particular. And that's going to get picked up by Lewis for the Freedom. Nice little dipsy-do there, and a clear, but right in the breadbasket of the Northern Lights player. And I believe that is Leduc.
Yeah, we have an injury, and there's another Canadian player down behind play, and time is off. So we do have another stoppage in play, and we're keeping an eye on who that is. I think it might be, I see a 5, so it may be Sarah Edwards. We're going to hold and wait there, but another injury here. And the clock, as we have it, is stopped unofficially. 4:04 to go in the ball game. And the Freedom leading by 13 points. Again, coming up at 1:30 Pacific time, it is the USA Revolution taking on the Canada Northwind in the men's championship game, followed by the women's development game. Just trying to see the number here. That game's at 3:45. I thought I saw a 5. It may actually, well, it's a round number. It's not 5. It looks like it's 9, thank you. It looks like Julia Rands is who that is. I have 4 eyes and these, and none of them work.
Leduc with the kick to midfield, off of hands. Now picked up here by Lustansky. Northern Lights still with 3 kicks away. Haven't kicked a goal in this game. And it's right in the middle of the field, not where they need it to be. Ball on the ground, and this will be a ball up for in the midfield. So we are approaching 3.5 minutes left here in the fourth quarter with the Freedom up by 13.
Here is Brancati, who has it in the middle of the ground, and there is Carr laying in the tackle now. Saigula keeping vigil. So too is Kojo, and umpire Derek Gouvier says we'll have a ball up. He does that thing where he winds up a bit, which you don't really see with a lot of umpires. But that's how he does it. And he's umpired semi-professional. I believe he was saying semi-professional in Australia. He's been around a long time and one of the better umpires in North America. Great mark taken. They'll send this one down the ground, almost picked off. Down goes Amanda Bowe. Umpire crosses himself like the first rabbi of Aussie rules football. L'chaim, to life. And we'll have a ball up just in center field as we are down now under 2.5 minutes to go, sending this one in. It is very much a gutsy effort by both teams, but especially by this Freedom side. Sends back the other way. No, almost taking the mark was Saigula. She's gonna, I'm gonna tell you right now, if she's not best and fairest, I'm gonna have a lot of questions because she has really played out of her skull. She's done just about everything. Big tackle laid in by Amelia Carr, who's having a fantastic game too. Now up the middle again. That was Pereira who is in there. Ball is on the ground. It gets held up. Freedom are okay with this as more time ebbs away. Now less than 2 minutes to go in the ball game. That's an unofficial clock, of course, but the Freedom heading towards a victory.
Off the hands is Secular, but there's a whistle and looks like a free kick to the Northern Lights. But again, the clock is not their friend. Right now, that's Brancati with the ball. Kick, long kick to a pack of players. It comes loose to the Freedom, and there is Lewis. Lewis kicks, just getting some meterage there. Picked up by Gaillard. Gaillard gets through some players, gets a handball away, and it's on the ground for her teammate, but it looks like a free kick here given. And it's going to Gaillard. But there is just over a minute left in this matchup, and you have to think that there won't be enough time to get 3 scoring shots. But really hoping to get a goal here in this one. They haven't had one yet.
I'm going to say it right now, the Freedom are home. I can't see because the clock stops. Remember, the clock doesn't stop and 30 seconds ebb off, essentially, while they bring the ball up. And that is that. And for the first time since 2000, well, there is still going to be a free kick, I believe. Well, now the question is whether or not she's taking it. I thought I heard the hooter, or I think we're still waiting for it. Hang on. There is going to be a free kick, and everybody is going to be on the line here. So the USA, I'm assuming that the hooter is just about set to go with 20 seconds left. Everybody is on the line for the USA. Everybody on the line for Canada. And more time just ebbing away here. Finally,
just this post-siren kick to see if the Northern Lights can get a consolation goal in this one.
So here, sending this one on its way. The kick is high in the air. It's going to be short. It's knocked down, and that is that. And for the first time since 2013, the USA Freedom have won the 49th Parallel Cup, and they have done so in a gritty and gutty effort by both teams in exceedingly trying conditions. We say this as the rain has stopped, but the Freedom are the victors by the final score, 2 goals, 2 behinds, 14 points. The Canadian Northern Lights 1 behind only. It's the first time that the Freedom have kept the Lights off of the major scoreboard since 2007, and it's the first time in their history that the Freedom have defeated the Lights in 2 consecutive games. Hats off to both teams, but especially to, as both teams are, it looks like there's a conversation that's happening here for both teams. Derek Govier and just keeping an eye on it to make sure there's nothing that nothing else is happening, but both teams are meeting over there. So once again, the final score is the 2 teams line up and shake hands. I just double checking here because it looked like both sets of teams were converging, and I felt like the umpire was saying something to them. But what a game! I mean, what an absolute battle by both teams, especially in a game where it was raining for most of the match, and where the weather was so bad for most of the match, and the Americans, especially, we said they had to get their scoring from somewhere. They got a goal really from a broken play by Kaya Saigula in the second quarter, and then April Munn, who took a fantastic 2 bites of the cherry mark and kicked what was essentially at that point an insurance goal. But the Freedom really took it to them in the second and the third quarter. The Northern Lights fought back in the fourth. They gained the territorial advantage and and unfortunately couldn't punch it home. Great job by the defense for the Freedom, led by Rosie Quokka, Amanda Dvorak in the back line, Al Leonard. They really stood up in the fourth quarter and preserved the victory.
Absolutely tough conditions. The Freedom come out on top as it was a slug out there. It really makes it for difficult conditions, and it seems like it favored the Freedom as they win by 13. We're just waiting for the closing ceremony to begin. Congratulations to the Freedom on the victory. Certainly well earned in difficult conditions. So certainly the Northern Lights will be disappointed that they were unable to come away with the victory. But the Freedom certainly, with a lucky 13 degrees and a 13-point victory over the Northern Lights. So we are just awaiting the closing ceremony, and The Northern Lights unable to kick one between the big sticks here.
And not for the want of trying. They really, especially in the first quarter and the fourth quarter, we were looking at the inside 50 counts, and then again seeing it in the fourth quarter. They really had their chances. But give the credit to the defense for the U.S. It would have been very. There were a couple of instances where they laid on a key tackle and they were able to get it.
All right, we're going to take a break to have our sponsors get their time, and we'll be back with the closing ceremony of the Women's 49th Parallel Cup Championship match. Online broadcast of the 2026 49th Parallel Cup is brought to you by Payable Apps. Payable Apps makes accepting payments fast, simple, and secure. Cooper Equipment Rentals. Safe, reliable, on time. It's the Cooper difference. Tribal Sport. Smith & Sons General Contractors. Big White Ski Resort. Real Deal Australian Meat Pies. The Exhale Brew Company. And by the City of Kelowna.
Play for fun. Play for fitness. Play for glory. Play for community. Play for club. Play for country. Play for each other. Play because you love playing. Play footy. Visit AFL-Canada.com and find a club near you today.
And we're back here at Rutland Community Park in Kelowna, British Columbia, 2026 49th Parallel Cup. We're just waiting for the award ceremony as the USA.
Welcome to the closing ceremony of the Women's Championship match of the 2026 49th Parallel Cup. First, we would like to present the best on ground, presented by our sponsors, Big White Ski Resort, Real Deal Australian Meat Pies, and Smith & Son General Contractors. The winner of the best on ground is Kayla Sakula.
Kayla Sakula.
What?
Thank you. Hi.
Hi. Don't talk. It's okay. You can just go. Congratulations to both teams on a great game of footy in difficult conditions. But now I'd like to call the captains of the winning side, the USA Freedom, to collect the 49th Parallel Cup. Oh. Congratulations. Yeah, this we're not doing that here, so just kind of present them to the. All right, so that's the closing presentation. Here's some final stats with Brian Barish.
Yeah, and again, it really kind of stayed the same way. Look at how close all of those stats were. The marks, everything except for the free kick count. The Canadians got 9 more free kicks, but again, the key was that the Canadians just were stemmed away by the American defense, and that was it. That was the difference. The Americans had a couple of opportunities. They got it. All they needed was 2 goals, and they are the winners, as you see Carol Sequeira and Allison Leonard, and they are sharing the goodies, giving out the medals to the victorious teammates for the USA Freedom. Again, the first time that they have won this Parallel Cup women's title since 2013, when they won here in Edmonton, or here in Canada in Edmonton.
Yeah, an individual effort by Kayla Segulo really set the tone for a victory for the Freedom, and congratulations to them as the women's 49th Parallel Cup champions for 2026. So, as I say, a great game of footy in difficult conditions, but the Freedom are the ones that come away with the victory, and congratulations to them. So, as we approach the end of this broadcast of the 2026 Women's Parallel Cup Championship match, AFL Canada would like to issue some thanks to Chris Wood and his local committee running this event, AFL Canada Executive Director Greg Bridges, and the Board of Directors of AFL Canada, USAFL President April Mon, and all her USAFL leadership. Groovy Productions to produce this broadcast, led by Andrew Jacobite, and cameras by Nathaniel Lee, Jared Jackal, Daniel Kenward. Statistics by Dylan Hall and Chiza Kibato, our sponsors, without whom this broadcast would not be possible. And you, the viewer, would sincerely hope that you enjoyed it. This is David Smith, who, along with my partner Brian Barish, have brought you this championship match of the 2026 49th Parallel Cup. Thanks for watching. This online broadcast
don't go anywhere,
of the
because
49th Parallel Cup
the
is brought to you by
49th Parallel Cup for the men is coming up at 1:30 between the U.S. and Canada.
Simple and secure. Cooper Equipment Rentals. Safe, reliable, on time. It's the Cooper difference. Tribal Sport. Smith & Sons General Contractors. Big White Ski Resort. Real Deal Australian Meat Pies. The Exhale Brew Company. And by the City of Kelowna.